Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark, and as always, I'm here with Jenny.
Hey everybody. Super excited about today's topic. It's something that's been buzzing around a lot lately.
Oh yeah, this is right up my alley. We're diving into the world of ASI security today, specifically something called MLSecOps.
MLSecOps. Okay, that sounds like a mouthful. Can you break that down for us, Mark?
You got it. So basically, it stands for Machine Learning Security Operations. Think of it like this. We've had DevOps, then MLOps, and now, because AI is getting so big, we need a way to make sure it's all secure. That's where MLSecOps comes in.
Got it. So it's like the security guard for the AI world? Making sure all those fancy algorithms don't go rogue on us?
Haha, exactly. Though maybe not rogue, more like making sure they don't get tricked or messed with. There was this report, updated just today actually, that talks all about this.
Oh, perfect timing. So what's the big deal? Why do we need a whole special operations thing just for AI security?
Well, here's the thing about AI. It's everywhere now, right? And it's making some pretty big decisions. So we got to make sure those decisions are, actually based on good data and not some hackers tricks.
Right, like that SolarWinds hack a while back, where they got into the supply chain and messed things up from the inside?
Exactly. That's a great example. See, AI systems, they rely on a ton of different parts. Data, code, models, all coming from different places. It's kind of like, when you're building with Legos, but the pieces come from all over, you got to make sure none of those pieces are, tampered with.
Okay, so MLSecOps is like checking every Lego brick to make sure it's legit? Makes sense. So how do they even do that? Sounds complicated.
It is, but that's where it gets interesting. They look at the whole supply chain for AI. They're checking the data, the models, even the tools used to build the AI. This report calls it AI Software Supply Chain Vulnerabilities. A mouthful, I know.
So they're tracing everything back to its source, making sure it's all clean and hasn't been poisoned, so to speak?
Poisoned is a great word for it. There's this whole thing called data poisoning, where hackers can mess with the data that the AI learns from. It's sneaky stuff.
Wow. So it's not just about keeping hackers out of the system, but also making sure the system itself isn't learning from bad info. It's like making sure a student has a good teacher and not some internet troll, right?
Haha, yes. A very colorful analogy, but you got it. And then there's this other part they call trusted AI.
Trusted AI. Okay, that sounds important. What's that all about?
So trusted AI is all about making sure the AI is, trustworthy. That means it's fair, it's transparent, you can understand why it's making certain decisions.
Ah, so it's not some black box just spitting out answers? We can actually see how it got there?
Right. It's kind of like if a judge made a ruling, you'd want to know their reasoning, right? Same with AI. This is super important for things like, say, loan applications or medical diagnoses.
Makes sense. You wouldn't want some AI denying your loan application and you have no idea why. That's actually kind of scary when you think about it.
It is. And that's why this whole MLSecOps thing is so important. It's not just about the tech. It's about making sure the tech is responsible.
Okay, so we've got securing the supply chain, making sure the AI is trustworthy. What else is in this MLSecOps toolbox?
All right, so this is where it gets even wilder. Have you ever heard of adversarial machine learning?
Adversarial. Like an adversary? Is that like A's fighting against each other?
Not quite fighting, but more like trying to trick each other. Think of it like this. Someone trying to fool a facial recognition system. They might wear a special mask or makeup to confuse it.
Oh, like those optical illusions that mess with your brain? But for AI?
Exactly. So adversarial machine learning is all about finding those weaknesses and protecting against them. They do things like adversarial training, where they basically show the AI a bunch of these tricky examples so it learns to spot them.
So it's like training the AI to be a better detective, showing it all the tricks someone might use to fool it?
Precisely. It's a constant game of cat and mouse, really. Hackers find new tricks, and the security folks have to figure out how to counter them.
This all sounds so intense. Is this something every company using AI needs to be doing?
Well, ideally, yes. But there are challenges. This report mentions that smaller companies might struggle because they don't have the resources or the expertise. It's a lot to take on.
I can imagine. It's like telling a small shop owner they need a whole security team. So, what can they do?
There are things they can do. They can start with the basics, like really paying attention to where their data comes from now. And there are open source tools they can use, which helps. It's about being smart and prioritizing the biggest risks.
Okay, that makes it a bit less daunting. So it's not all doom and gloom, even for smaller players.
Not at all. And honestly, this whole field is just getting started. There's so much research happening, new tools being developed. It's actually a pretty exciting time to be in AI security.
I can hear the excitement in your voice, Mark. So what's the big takeaway here? What should our listeners be thinking about when it comes to MLSecOps?
I'd say the big thing is that AI security isn't just an afterthought anymore. It's not something you can just slap on at the end. It needs to be built in from the ground up. And that's what MLSecOps is all about.
So it's about being proactive, not reactive. Thinking about security from the start, not just after something goes wrong.
Exactly. And it's about collaboration, too. It's not just the security team's job. Everyone involved in building and using AI has a role to play.
That's a great point. It takes a village, as they say, even in the AI world. Well, this has been a discussion, Mark. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too, Jenny. And there's so much more to explore in this area. We're really just scratching the surface. I was reading about how they are working with quantum computing to detect security threats.
Quantum computing? Now that sounds like a whole other episode. We'll have to save that for another time. But for now, thanks for breaking down MLSecOps for us, Mark.
Anytime, Jenny. And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.